Hey, my name's Erik with Wyman Plumbing and Mechanical. Today I'm here at the customer's house. They have a slow draining sink. I'm going to be walking you through a couple ways to take apart the P-trap, a couple tools you need, and why you would need to take apart the P-trap. All right, so I'm going to go over a couple parts of the P-trap itself and the drain assembly. So down here, this rounded part is your P-trap. Purpose of the P-trap is to keep all of the sewer gases from coming up into the home. It's currently filled with water. That's what blocks off the sewer gases. Part of the P-trap here, you have your slip nuts. In these two locations, that's what holds the P-trap together. And then up top in here, we've got the pivot rod. The pivot rod sticks through into the pipe and controls the stopper. A couple tools that you might need is a small pair of pliers or channel locks, a crescent wrench, and a couple pieces of pipe, either flexible or rigid. And this is what you would use to clean the actual drain itself, which we'll get into. All right, so first we're gonna start by taking apart the slip nuts here. Go down to the bottom one. So it looks like somebody over tightened this one a little bit, so this is where a pair of pliers will come in handy. I'm gonna take this guy off. Here we go.
Nice.
So as you can see right here, it's a little tight. You can go ahead and just kind of pull out as much of that as you can. All right, so I'm gonna switch gloves now, and then we'll start taking apart the pivot rod and the drain assembly. All right, so now we're gonna take apart the waste arm here. It's always just good to inspect, see what you got going on, and we'll go through and clean all of these. This part right here is your extension piece with another slip nut. You can sometimes just pull that guy straight out, and you see the rest of the hair in there. Then we're gonna take our crescent wrench and start taking apart the pivot rod. So the pivot rod is usually gonna have a nut or some type of wing nut. In this case, you can sometimes take it off with your fingers, but we're gonna use a crescent wrench. Pull that guy right out. So this little piece is what connects to the stopper and allows it to catch it to raise and lower it. So after we get that guy out, we'll come up top here, clean out some of the hair in the sink, and then there's your stopper. And pull the remainder of the hair. Start with cleaning the stopper off. And then now we can actually start cleaning out the inside of the drain assembly and all of our parts to the P-trap. Okay, so this is where our piece of tubing and a paper towel is gonna come in handy. So what we're gonna start with is wadding up a small piece of paper towel. We're gonna stuff it through, and then we're gonna come down the drain there, and you can see how it's gonna scrape the sides and push everything out. So we'll do that a couple times with a couple pieces of paper towel. And then we'll do the same exact thing with our extension pieces and our P-trap. And then you can see it's nice and clean. All right, so after we've got everything nice and cleaned up, we can go ahead and start putting everything back together. So we'll start with the waste arm here. Just go ahead and insert that guy. If you ever take these washers off, it goes with the slip nut first, and then the washer. And each of these, you can just kind of give it a couple turns to let it catch. And we'll put the P-trap back on there. And I always like to get everything in place and lined up before I tighten all the slip nuts down. So after we've got everything in place and everything looks good, you just start tightening everything back together. And with the P-trap, with these slip nuts, they only need to be hand tight. With this slip nut and a couple of the other ones, they were a little bit tighter. They could have just been over tightened, or somebody could have used some pliers on them. But you just need to get them nice and snug and hand tight. And we'll go back up to the pivot rod and our pop-up here. So with the pop-up, you're gonna wanna line the hole up to where it will catch in the pivot rod here. So we'll go up here, line the hole up to the back of the sink, drop that guy in, and then we'll take our pivot rod, stick it in there, and then you can just kind of wiggle it up and down and test to make sure that it catches. And then once we confirm that it is catching, we'll put our nut back on. And then the next thing you're gonna wanna do just to test for leaks, what we're gonna do is we're gonna fill the sink up here. Use your lift rod there and go ahead and fill the sink up. Okay, so after we get a decent amount of water in the sink, go ahead and shut the water off. We're gonna drop the lift rod, and we're gonna go under here and inspect each joint, make sure nothing's leaking. Alrighty, no leaks, so that means we're all good. And then we'll go up and test and see how well it's draining. You're all set and ready to go. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're located in the Phoenix area, we serve the entire valley. Our services include anything to do with sewer, gas, and water. You can check out our website, and we also have our information posted below. Maybe you should leave. Maybe both of you should just, no, it's okay. I'm just joking. I'm just scared you're gonna get grouchy at me again.